pod because this was crazy. That I honestly never expected because of the fact that I've been having little to no luck with fish or anything for that matter. Um, wow, he's just swimming around. I can't. Like, I have been getting fish from this pet store, and recently, like, they have been coming in bad condition and whatever. So, um, and they're literally, they're literally coming in bad condition. They're not healthy. I'm getting them with ick. I'm getting them with fungus. They're not healthy at all. And, you know, obviously because it's a molly and because I have the treatment, I tried, right? So I'm like, okay, let me try to. What's up, my dude? I haven't talked to you, man. What's up, dude? I got a couple new fish, as well, and I'm just talking about them because this, thing is really cool that happened, and I just want to explain how I got to it. So, and what amazes me as an aquarist with this fish specifically. Oh, just scared it. Oh, that's okay. He's still doing his normal thing. Um, but what as an aquarist, I'm like, okay, so I've been getting fish for the past few weeks from Petco. And as we know, chain pet stores aren't the hardiest fish. They get their fish from um not really that good of a place. Like they get them from ponds or something. They don't always come in healthy. They're stressed. They're in cramped tanks. Hence the goldfish koi. If you see koi in the tank, um, or something like that. But mainly goldfish, feeder fish, and generally not Somalis. But like, so I've been going to this pet store, and I'm like, before that, I'm trying to find females. So here's my thing. I got wild Pacific. Hey, Karam, what's up? Um, so I got wild uh Liberty Mollies in here, and you'll see them. They have the red fins. Here's one somewhere in here. I'll point out to you. What is your girlfriend's name? My girlfriend's name is Carrie. Um, so I got um these fish, and I'm like, okay, well, how am I gonna, like I got these fish originally, and they're wild mollies. So, um, what generally happened was I didn't read up on them and found out they were more aggressive. Now I've done this before, with other fish, but these fish were very aggressive, and they weren't. I mean, they were, but I didn't expect them to be. I'll point one out to you when it swims by, but that's one actually right now. Um, they're like grayish with grayish fins, and they have stripes. So what's really cool is they have like white stripes on them. So the males are a lot smaller, and they have white stripes versus the females, which are gray and dull red, um, like a duller red color. And I'm like, okay, these look pretty cool, and I've always wanted to try wild fish, and they're tank bred, so there's no sort of water quality difference. Like you're not taking them out of the tank, or you're not taking them out of the wild, shipping them to you, and having a green sailfin molly, which I did have in these tanks in the past, in the aquariums. So you're not having that kind of craziness difference in the mollies. Like you're not having like a wild fish in your aquarium, which apparently I think I was selling saltwater mollies because obviously, Florida lagoons and stuff, and you read up on it, it's like saltwater, right? Everything is like, hey John, what's up? So, or John Boy, what's up? So, I was like, okay, let me try out these green sailfin mollies, right? They look cool. The seller sends them to me. All six of them die. I tried twice, and all six of them died. Same disease, same everything. He literally tells me, "Oh, the fish, you know, no one else has these issues." Um, so I'm like, okay, great. I tried wild fish and died. So here I am trying to think of, okay, well, I want a wild fish, right? And I'm trying to think of, well, I tried wild fish, I tried them, and they died. And a lot of times, wild fish, they need pristine water. So in the lake, they need pristine water. The water is generally rain kind of as the oxygen in just left a live stream where I ejected. Hey, what's up, Mio? Me too. Yeah, I love fish. I'll explain to you that in a minute. Um, so I go to yeah. That's I've been going live more and gaining viewers that way, and people have been subscribing. So I've been just going live a lot more when I can. So that's been working for me in terms of growing my channel, which is great. I really appreciate that, guys, for joining my live and subscribing to my channel because I really tried to grow this channel a lot and post a lot. So as I'm going back to the thing that I was telling you guys about, so I get these mollies, they all die. I'm like, great, this is a lost cause. They're not surviving, and they all died from this fungus. And I'm like, well, why are they dying from the fungus? The guy didn't know. He didn't have any issues. He showed me fish that were healthy, right? And I'm like, okay, great. This is a crap fish that's supposed supposedly what I think it was he was selling saltwater mollies, expecting them to be able to adapt to freshwater, which means we would have to do a 12-hour adaptation by drip acclimating them to freshwater instead of doing the pop and drop, which is basically making the water temperature to the correct temperature and then dumping the fish in without adjusting them to the pH in the aquarium. So that's why I think generally happened now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. These lives get watched online as well. So a lot, I don't really mind, going live as well. So it just like viewer count doesn't matter to me as much as people do. Like I post these videos on my channel after I'm done making them. So it doesn't really matter per se live wise if people are watching. To me it matters like the overall aspect after the live is finished, how that live grows, and I'll adjust from that. I barely look at my lives, by the way. I just post what I want to post, and there you go. Um, as I was saying, I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on because the fish are having fungus, and what I think was going on was the aspect of the hardiness of the fish versus, like, this guy put all his effort into raising these fish. They survived. He probably used lake water, or he probably used the water that they come from. Now, when you transfer that into a tank that is not per se good water quality, as well as the lake, that's when you run into issues because the fish aren't used. So the fish not only has to adapt to different water quality, it has to adapt to um, the tank as well. So like when you get these green self and mollies, they're used to lake water. Now, if you're down in Florida, different story. You could just go down to the lake, pull out water, put the water in your tank, and boom, you have a good molly thing. Um, so I was sent these mollies, and I'm like, okay, there's no way I could take care of these things. They're not surviving. So I'm like, okay, here's a guy online called Dan's Fish that sells mollies. And I'm like, should I try it again? And I'm like, yeah. He has a 99.7, I think, survival rate. Um, so, yeah, like I'm trying to figure out um, what we're trying to. Nah, I can't speak. So we're trying to. So I'm trying to figure out. Okay, should I order these mollies, being that they have a 99.7 survival rate, and it's not going down. It's literally 99.7%. I've been watching this guy for a year, and I'm like, you know what? I have to try this because he has a 99.7 survival rate. He has different fish. He's selling tetras, they're surviving. He's selling this, they're surviving. He's selling this, they're surviving. So everything's surviving. So I'm like, okay, that's enough evidence for me to buy these Liberty Mollies. And when I'm like trying to figure out like what to do with these mollies, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try. I mean, honestly, fish survive and they get sick, and then they survive and they get sick. Um, so it's really a 50% chance that these fish are going to come to me healthy, or they're going to come to me sick, and I'm going to have to treat them and or do the same thing. So I'm like, you know what? 99% survival rate. He has cichlids, he has this, he has that. Um, well, he does. I don't think he has. No, I'm sorry. Catfish, tetras. He doesn't have crayfish. He has eels even. So here's a guy who owns fish that has a wide variety of fish. He's caring for them well. He literally does a 2 week acclimation period to make sure the fish aren't sick. He or euthanizes fish to literally make sure that they're healthy and to see what disease they actually have versus the eyesight guess thing. So you could like treat a fish with like a medication This guy actually takes one of the fish out that he gets, euthanizes it, and looks under a microscope what disease the fish actually has, so he can choose as a seller the best fish for his clients. And I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, this is enough proof to me that these fish are able to adapt to my aquarium. They're not obviously gonna die. They're not. Well, they could die, but that's with any fish or any live animal. But but the fact is, like, they're being sent from Wyoming, so I'm like, okay, it's probably farther than whatever. And do I want to try it again? I'm like, I'm not gonna go living my life thinking that the only way I can get fish is to go to a pet store here. So I'm like, let me just try it. And if they die, they die. If they live, they live. So I try it. And they came in healthy. And I also bought some black-bellied lemur with them. So I tried two different fish. Obviously, that's what you do when you're trying out a breeder. And these mollies were pain in the butts. They wanted absolutely nothing to do with anything. And the fact was, I had one male and one female molly. And I had another male. I had I had three males in my tank, including the. So, I will answer that question in a second, and I believe it just no, that's my hand. I thought it just scared shrimp. I will answer that question in a second. So I was thinking about how or what's gonna happen with these mollies after I have them in my tank. Unfortunately, I had to go out that day, so I did ask someone to acclimate them. I told them, okay, put them in a bag and acclimate them like you would normally do. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna pop and drop these things. I don't go off of that. Like, I'm not gonna pop and drop a fish. Like, obviously that works. I've had very bad luck with doing this. And it could be the fish too. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna pop and drop them. So I told them to put them in a bag. Like, I have an acclimation bag literally on hand. I can just grab at any point in time and acclimate fish to other aquariums from my local pet store. And I can go there actually and get bags, but I prefer to save bags as well and reuse them. So I told her to put it in a bag. And they were, I think, in a tank. It was a long time ago, but they were in a tank for 15 minutes. Then I told her to take them out of that bag, put them in another bag, and do a regular acclimation with them. And those fish are the fish you see now. The black-bellied lemur did die, and I'm going to explain that now. So the fish lived, eating fine, swimming fine, and they started leaving marks on my fish. I lost one fish, which was the black-bellied lemur at first. They got marks. Then the female died, which was pregnant, healthy, everything was good. Then the fish decided to go after my catfish. Now, I'm like watching their interactions, whatever, with the other catfish, and I'm like, it's 100% aggression from my mollies. So, I can either try to get females, which my pet store never sells, or the pet store doesn't know what male and female fish are. And I will answer your question in a second. So, it's just coming to me, and I'm trying to add in as much information as I can. So yeah, I will definitely answer your question next. Um, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's going on um, with these mollies, with what's going on with the marks and everything, right? So I'm seeing marks on my male fish. I'm seeing marks on my catfish, and I'm seeing marks on other fish. Now, um, so my two black bellied lemur died from these marks. Hey Alba, what's up? And like bite marks, like literally clicky cutter shark bite marks. So I'm trying to figure it out. And I made the assumption, I'm like, okay, so these mollies are being aggressive to other fish. Like my catfish, they were going after my catfish. So I'm like, okay, I can either A, get female fish from the supplier and hope that works, or B, I can wait to see if they give birth. Now this is 2 months later, so I chose to wait to see if they give birth. Um, and they killed the catfish. They were very dominant, and I tried. I don't know why, but putting another male in the tank, they hated that. They beat up the male. It was a baby, unfortunately, sailfin male that was normal, not balloon at all, which I'll get to in a second as well. Um, so, let me just answer this question as well. So I'll keep this guy waiting. Are you dreaming to work as an aquarium staff, taking everyone a tour about the fish because you know about so many fish? And the answer to that question is yes. My dream is to eventually work at a pet store where there is not that many like I'll go into a pet store honestly, um, and I will help other people with their fish. So if I had, I won't literally get the fish out of the tank for them because obviously I'm not supposed to do that and I can't do that because I don't work there. Hence, PECO, government, all that stuff. So, or well, not government really, but the way the chain pet stores work, essentially. Um, so, um, and I would literally go there and literally, okay, this fish isn't good with, this fish. I was giving them my experience, and the pet store was fine with that. So, my goal is to grow my YouTube through what I'm doing now, as well as help people in my local community with their fish and what the knowledge that I know and everything like that, versus some pet stores getting untrained employees, which is okay. It's a job, great. Get taught how to net fish, clean the store, etc. But eventually, my dream job would be to work in a pet store in the fish department. Probably I have two ideas honestly, in two different pet stores I want to work at, or help out at. But that's way down the line. So I decided to use YouTube as that outlet. Hey Alba, what's up? So back to my thing. I was trying to figure out what to do with. Let me see where I left off. Oh, I was trying to figure out what to do with this aggression, and I'm like, okay, A, I can wait, or B, I can get mollies, and I'm like, okay, I have so many fish in my tank, and the logical thing at that time was to wait, so I waited 1 month. no fish, no babies. 2 months, no babies. 3 months, no babies. 4 months, or I think it's 3 months, right? Or 2 months. Um, and they had babies. No, I'm sorry, they did not have babies. So 2 months later, they did not have babies. So I'm like, okay, so they're killing my fish and getting more females for the amount was $80. So they were $80 to ship to me. And that's because they're wild, they're more expensive, etc. Um, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna spend $80 for mollies, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, okay, should I spend $80 on mollies, or where I could lose another fish, or do I want to find out what's going on first? So I decided, okay, I'm gonna talk to the supplier and see what happens. Um, so I go on his live stream. I'm like, hey, my mollies are being aggressive and they are not breeding whatsoever. They don't want to breed, do anything right. So another guy says that has bought these mollies. Oh, I bought 3 males and 3 females, which doesn't make sense because mollies need, extra females, like 2 extra females. Well, I read before that these mollies need upwards of, I think it's 4 per fish. So they are a little or a lot more aggressive than the tank bred mollies. I'm like, that's the reason why they're attacking my fish. So right now is to where this comes along. I get mollies from Petco. And only females. I only want females, right? And I'm honestly not used to getting like females from a pet store. I don't really, and honestly, I've had them die from like wild ones, or Dalmatians die from not being in salt water. So when they come to Petco, a lot of the pet stores raise them in salt water, um, or aquarium salt. So when they are salted water or aquarium salted water, I don't know exactly how much water or how much salinity, but when they come into Petco, they crash. And then when they're moved to your tank, they crash even more. So you're getting a molly that basically has a weakened immune system that's already dying, and that fish just crashes in your tank. So I'm had that happen once. I had that happen with a guppy, a Dumbledore guppy, totally different turnout. That ended up dying for some other reason, probably a word change, or could be a pH difference. But I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, and it turns out that the Liberty Mollies need more females, and so I was trying to get more females, and I'm like, okay, great. Petco has more females, right? And I don't usually, I mean, obviously I go to Petco a lot. That's what it seems like on my live streams. Every other live, I'm getting the fish. Um, but I'll tell you why now. So I go to Petco, and I'm like, okay, I need a female Molly. My Molly is attacking these other fish, and the overall results is that you need more females because the males are pecking order and they're trying to get more females, and when there is more females in the tank, that happens. So when there is more females in the tank, they come down a little bit. So I'm like, okay, let me try to figure out what's going on here, right? So I get one female. That female died. Or I get two females, or one female, I think it died. And then I get another female to replace that female. That one died. Or I get two. No, I get two. I'm sorry. I get two. One dies. Then I get one more. That one dies. Now, below the tank, there's fish under observation. And in Petco stores, all the tanks are connected. So I'm like, okay, it could be okay. The fish is not showing signs of it's healthy, whatever, right? So I get one of the fish, and I'm like, okay, great, this fish is going to survive. That dies. It was a white platinum Liberty Molly. Pretty fish. Dies in 2 days. Don't know what was wrong with it. It just died in 2 days or one day, like the next day or something. It's down on the ground. And I'm like, okay, great. So I decide, okay, I'm going to treat with ick treatment, and see if I can keep this fish alive, right? Well, I didn't know at the time that this fish had a weak immune system. So basically, Petco was treating it with Herb, which is a microbe lift, softer pretty much, or less medicated per se. Like, it's less of a, so Hertana and hang on a second. Let me just get the medication here so I don't mispronounce. I don't have Hertana, but I do have another medication thing. So it is a trying to all natural. No, this is the fungus one. So it's an all natural and fungal immune bacterial infections booster, and natural expellent for bacterial disease. So this is not like the ick treatment. It's more geared towards like health of your aquarium fish. This is apparently safe for shrimp, plants, fish, and I don't know what the other plant is, but so it's basically safe for plants, fish, and shrimp, which a lot of the medications out there are, like if you were to go out and get methane blue is a killer to snails. So if you have snails in your aquarium and you use methylene blue, it may kill your invertebrates, it may kill your snails, and it may kill other fish and or other invertebrates. So the way Petco does it is they're going the total natural route because they're supposed to as a pet store, right? So they're using a medication that is not as strong as ick. So I'm like, okay, great. This medication, they're treating it with Herb, which has the same thing, kind of different, that works well with ick. But it's weaker. It's a weaker medication. So I'm like, okay, I don't mind. I have a stronger medication. Not going to make a difference, right? So I put the stronger medication in. Fish were surviving fine. I get another one as a replacement, and that one dies. So I'm like, okay, great. That fish died, not surviving well. You know, weak immune system, ick, whatever it had issues with. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's going on in my aquarium versus what is like what's actually going on in my aquarium. And both times the water is fine. The water is 8.0 and the pH was stable. The pH was 8.0, the water was stable and everything like that. So I'm like trying to figure out, okay, what's going on in my aquarium? Is it my aquarium or is it the pet store's aquarium? Long story short, it was the pet store's water, not mine. And uh, the way they were treating their fish with a weaker um, ick treatment than I was. So basically, the fish died because obviously immune system complications and stuff like that. I think honestly, the fish died within 2 days, so really didn't have um, things to go by, right? So like it really didn't have time to adjust to my order. Um, and I just got these fish in on Wednesday, and they just literally said they got the fish in on Wednesday. Um, which means the fish never had time to adapt to both water qualities. And the fish was sick, so from being shipped. Um, and I was like, okay, this is great. I have fish with ick. I can handle this. I've had other fish with ick that made it through it. Okay, use this ick treatment, right? So I'm using the ick treatment, and I figure out, okay, it's probably ick. Now, the one died from ick, so the one of the fish died from ick, then another one died from ick, so the second one I got from them died from ick. So not the so the replacement of the platinum molly that I got, the platinum liberty molly, died from ick. And you can literally see the ick on it when it died. So I'm like, okay, this is due to an ick parasite that is literally not showing on the fish until I get it. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what to do now because this other fish that I got is surviving good, and it's showing signs of stress, but it's not showing signs of anything else. It's eating, but it's shaking. It's what do they call it? Shimmying. So the fish basically moves like a snake, kind of in one motion, and it shakes, right? So I'm like, okay, let me do ick treatment. And a week later, the fish is dead at the bottom of my tank. Turns out the ick parasite, this fish was so damaged that the only way that this fish could survive was if you would treat with ick treatment and continuously treat with ick treatment. Now I was like, okay, this fish is doing better. And obviously you should treat for a week, but I want to see how it did off, the ick treatment, because he seemed better. The minute I take him off the ick treatment, fish dies. No fungus, no ick parasite, fish just dies. So what happened was the parasite probably hurt it enough to the point where it was going to die. Then it got a boost of energy from the Hertana. Then when I treated it, it got stressed, shaking, and I treated it and did better. But the minute I took it off, the immune system never built back up. So, and the damage was done to the fish probably due to parasites, fungus, Um, and that does leave tissue damage on the fish that could be unseen when you get the fish. So, um, and obviously, the ick treatment, what you're seeing is the cyst on the fish. You're not seeing the actual parasite. You're seeing the cyst on the fish. So, the ick was probably on the fish and didn't show itself until then. And the fish never showed signs of ick. Just realistically, you know it has ick or fungus because it was in a fish tank with fungus and ick. Or fungus. Half the fish had fungus, half the fish had ick. And I'm like, okay, this happens. And I'm like, do I want to try this again? Try to get females? And I'm like, okay, we are. And the pet store's like, I call the pet store back, same thing. But I decided, okay, let me try another pet store first. They won't give me fish because I don't have a water sample. I'm like, great. So I call my other Petco. They would give me fish because I was there trying to get fish from them. Twice they died. So in this case, she was giving me a favor. I didn't need a water sample. I'm like, okay, great. Let me go there. And as I explained it to the lady in the other pet store, she's like, oh, well, we can't sell you fish because your tank isn't set up correctly. I'm like, my tank is set fine. It's the pet store that is giving me literally sick fish that I'm paying for that they're dying. You guys are selling sick fish. You guys think you're able to sell sick fish and they're not surviving or whatever. So the fish come in and they're like, okay. So I'm like, okay, at this point, I don't know what to do because, the fish aren't surviving. Now, obviously, we go to the pet store and she's like, by chance, are you the guy who called on, the phone? And obviously, they don't see you physically because you're not FaceTiming them. So they don't know what you look like. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So that's how I got these fish, and they are doing amazing. What happened most likely was Petco or whoever changed hands or whatever with whoever they have. The aquatics department isn't as experienced, so the fish are doing worse. Also, it could be due to that it's getting colder out, and the mollies do not do good when shipped from this, and given the way the weather has been cold, warm, they could have been sent through that. Obviously, here it's been like that over the past few weeks, being that it's going into fall. But as you can see, this guy, the top one and the bottom one, are doing amazing. Both fins are fully up, and they are hardy. They haven't ate yet, which is fine. I just got them yesterday. One of them tried to eat. But the balloon molly, literally, no joke, scared the crap out of me because the balloon molly is this fish right here in the front, by the way. And this fish was over here in the corner. Oh, sorry. In the corner under that piece of wood. And I'm like, after the 2 weeks of the fish having issues, having fish sick, having fish die from shaking like that, I'm like, great. This happened again. And I'm like, what do? I decided not to treat my aquarium because I usually do, just because I'm so used to treating for ick when obviously the fish came from a tank with ick. So I'm like, okay, there's no reason to treat. The fish looked healthy, it was swimming around, doing whatever, and now it's like this. And now it's on the bottom of the tank. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's causing this, right? No fish are chasing it. And I was like, okay, this fish can either die or live. So I'm like, how hardy are balloon mollies? The amount of information that came up was crazy. They said short lifespan. They said swim bladder disease, where the swim bladder blows up. So it's like bloating. They said they don't swim well. They don't live long. They don't do this. They don't do that. They can get shimmies. They can get this. They can get that. So I'm like, great. I just got a sick fish that I paid roughly, give or take, $6 for. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting, but yet expected. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I was talking to a friend, and my friend said to wait. I waited. I was so into treating my fish specifically that I was ready to treat with fungus and or ick, but good thing I didn't, because within 6 hours, this fish is literally swimming around like normal. Insane. Like, that is the most interesting part I can ever think of this fish. I never expected this fish to swim like this within 6 hours. I pretty much gave up again on the fish. I'm like, if, anything can happen to this fish, please let it survive. I've been going through so much aquarium anxiety that I pretty much didn't know what to do. This fish is now swimming around like normal. And it's also shimmying, but it's a normal shimmy. Balloon mollies shimmy when they're in when they're staying still due to the way their bodies work. Balloon mollies do swim weird because of the way they are. And unless you have a tank, or unless you see any other issue, like if the fin is down, if this fish is scratching itself against objects, if this fish is doing anything but shimmies, then that's a sign for concern. If it's just doing shimmies, I would leave it alone. I wouldn't do anything unless it's doing that for several days. Then you have an issue. But this thing literally did for 6 hours, and he's swimming around happy. And I do honestly promote the buying of balloon mollies. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Yes, you do have that deformity. Yes, you do have that chance of getting a molly that does not survive. But there is proof online that these mollies do better than regular mollies in shipping. For some reason, they do. And with the other mollies, and what's interesting too, I literally was not expecting to buy a male. I thought she was a female. Or he was a female. Nope. Full on male. Does my other male care? No. My males do not care. So, in overall reality, it was dominance thing a dominance thing over females, over wanting to breed. Now, this Molly considers, like my Mollies, consider this Molly not a threat. It's not. Apparently, I mean, it can breed, but apparently, to what the Mollies think it can't breed. It's not like me. It's not able to swim well. It's not able to do this. It's not able to do that. It's not physically able to breed in the Molly sense of things. But in reality, it is. The Molly just doesn't think so. So it doesn't attack it. So, point being, if you have an aggressive Molly and you're running into issues, you can't get any male in with him, try a balloon Molly. I guarantee you 99% or 95%, I'll give you a 5% chance, that your Molly will not go after a balloon Molly. It will not consider it a threat. I don't even see, like, this happened within 6 hours. The male was literally going after this female, pecking at this female, and today, what is it, 12 hours later? Nothing. So thank you for watching this live, and I will see you in the next live.